Do you know how to use a computer? If not, don't worry. Today, we're going to learn about the basic parts and functions of a computer. A computer, in the simplest terms, is a device that processes information. It's like a super smart machine that can do many tasks at once. Now, a computer isn't just one thing. It's made up of several parts, each with its own special job. Think of it like a team. In a team, each player has a role to play, right? It's exactly the same with a computer. Each part of the computer has a specific function that helps the computer do its job. Some of these parts you can see, like the monitor, the keyboard, and the mouse. Some are hidden inside, like the CPU, which is the brain of the computer. In the next scene, we will start with the most visible part of a computer, the monitor. The monitor, also known as the screen, is where we see everything that the computer does. It's like a window into the digital world, showing us images, text, videos, and everything else that we interact with on the computer. The monitor is the visual interface between us and the computer's brain, known as the Central Processing Unit, or CPU. Turning on the monitor is a simple task. Look for a button, often located on the bottom right corner or the back of the monitor. Press it, and you'll see the screen light up, ready to display whatever the computer sends its way. If the monitor is connected correctly to the computer, you'll see your desktop or a login screen. Monitors come in different shapes and sizes, but they all serve the same purpose. They let us see and interact with the digital world created by our computer. Next, we'll learn about another key part of a computer, the keyboard. The keyboard is like a typewriter. It's where we input commands or text into the computer. Picture an old-school typewriter, but with a modern twist. The keyboard is divided into several sections, each having a unique role. The alphanumeric keys, for instance, allow us to type letters and numbers. They are the ones you use most often when writing an email or creating a document. Next up are the function keys, labeled as F1 through F12. These keys perform different functions based on the program you're using. For example, in many programs, F1 is used to open a help menu. Special keys such as the spacebar, Enter, and Shift keys also play vital roles. The spacebar, as you might guess, is used to create spaces between words. The Enter key is used to start a new line or execute commands, while the Shift key allows us to type capital letters or special symbols. Now let's move on to another essential part of a computer, the mouse. The mouse is a small device that we use to interact with the computer. Like a tiny handheld guide, it controls the movement of the cursor on the screen. Just imagine your screen is a vast open field, and your mouse is the compass that helps you navigate this field. Now let's talk about how we use this clever little device. To select an item on the screen, we simply move the cursor over the item and press the left button once. This action is called a click. But what if we want to open a program or a folder? Then we need to double-click. That's 2 quick clicks on the left button. Oh, and don't forget about the right button. If you right-click on an item, a menu with more options will appear. This is your secret tool for accessing additional features or settings. Finally, we will talk about the heart of the computer, the CPU. CPU stands for Central Processing Unit. It's like the brain of the computer. Just as our brain is the control center of our body, the CPU is the control center of the computer. It's the part of the computer that performs most of the processing inside. Whenever you're typing a letter, playing a game, or browsing the web, the CPU is hard at work processing the information and carrying out the commands. The CPU is a chip made of silicon that's located on the motherboard, which is the main circuit board of the computer. It's responsible for executing a series of stored instructions that make up a program. These instructions tell the CPU what to do and when to do it. Turning on the CPU is as simple as pressing the power button on your computer. When you do this, the CPU springs into action, starting up the operating system and getting the computer ready for you to use. The CPU communicates with all the other parts of the computer, like the monitor, keyboard, and mouse. It takes input from these devices, processes it, and then sends it back out. For example, when you move your mouse or type on your keyboard, the CPU processes these actions and displays them on your monitor. The CPU also manages the computer's memory, deciding which programs get memory and when. It's a busy little chip that's constantly working, even when your computer seems to be idle. In modern computers, CPUs can have multiple cores. Each core is like a mini CPU that can process tasks independently. This means that a dual-core CPU can process twice as much information at once as a single-core CPU, making your computer faster and more efficient. So, as you can see, the CPU is a vital part of your computer. Without it, your computer wouldn't be able to function. It's the powerhouse that keeps everything running smoothly, ensuring that your computer can carry out the tasks you need it to. Now that we've learned about the basic parts and functions of a computer, let's summarize what we've learned. We've learned a lot today about computers. Indeed, we have journeyed through the basic parts and functions of this essential device. Let's take a moment to recap what we've covered. First, we talked about the monitor, the visual interface that allows us to interact with our computer. It's like the window to our digital world, displaying all the information, images, and programs that we need. We've learned how to adjust its settings to suit our preferences and how it plays a critical role in our overall computing experience. Next, we dove into the keyboard, our primary tool for inputting data and commands. From typing emails to playing games, the keyboard is our direct line of communication with the computer. We've learned about the different keys and their functions and how to use them to navigate our digital tasks. Then we turned our attention to the mouse, a handheld device that lets us point, click, and scroll our way through the computer's interface. Through the mouse, we can easily select items, drag and drop files, and navigate web pages. We've learned how to click, double-click, and right-click to perform various tasks. And lastly, we explored the CPU, the brain of the computer. It's where all the computing and processing happens. We've learned about its importance in running programs, executing commands, and performing tasks efficiently. Each of these components, the monitor, keyboard, mouse, and CPU, work together harmoniously to make a computer function. They are the building blocks that allow us to interact with the digital world, to create, communicate, and explore. Understanding their basic functions and how to use them is key to becoming comfortable with using a computer. Remember, understanding these basic parts and functions is the first step to becoming comfortable with using a computer. Practice makes perfect, so don't be afraid to explore and learn more about your computer. So keep practicing, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep learning. The world of computers is vast and exciting, and you're well on your way to becoming a confident user.